Greetings and welcome to Astro Times today. Those who watch my videos regularly, they are asking me to make one separate series for this education. So this is one of the questions I regularly encounter from my clients or whoever watch my videos. Whoever approaches me with their natal chart, it's very often for them to ask some questions about their kids, maybe who are studying their fifth class or sixth class now. Usually they will ask one question: into which line my child will fit into exactly, or he may pursue in the times to come. Actually, this is one of the very difficult questions for an astrologer to answer or to predict. Better say predict. Astrologer always predicts. Okay. So why? Because the system of education is drastically changing. See, one of the questions is the foreign education. Will I go abroad for my higher studies? That is what that 10 years ago astrologers used to encounter from their clients, and astrologers used to check some planetary combinations and tell whether he will go abroad or not. But after this corona, in the post-corona season, the meaning of foreign education has completely changed. What we don't know before corona, that is online education, it has become very common nowadays. People are sitting in United States and teaching the children around the globe, and teachers are sitting in India or teaching students around the globe. A teacher can sit anywhere and teach his students anywhere in the globe, the way you are seeing my video now. Maybe this is not the trend before corona. So this is how whether a student can get his degree from a foreign university just by sitting in a remote village in India. Even that is a foreign education. In the same way, so many changes are coming in the education pattern. Nowadays, the latest trend is artificial intelligence, data sciences, which was not there some 10 years ago. Okay, but an astrologer should never avoid the questions asked by his clients just because of the reason that this was not mentioned in our ancestral in our ancient this astrological classics. For sure, there were no combinations given in our astrological classics about this technical education what we are seeing today, or medical education what we are seeing today. Education in those days practically limited to this mimamsa, nyaya, tarka, or any occasional training which or any business that the family was into. If father was a carpenter, son also used to become a carpenter. If the father was a goldsmith, son used to become goldsmith, and so on. If father was a fisherman, his son used to become a fisherman. His ambit was actually limited to the area where he lives, where they used to live. Okay. In those days, this astrology was written, and practically no combinations, strictly speaking, no combinations were given in our astrological classics about the current day's education system. But current days eminent astrologers like B.V. Raman, K.N. Rao, V.P. Goyal, etc. They have done a lot of research. They have dedicated entire their life for the study of this astrology, and they have given some combinations from the charts that they have studied, that if these with these astrological combinations, with these planetary positions, the native may pursue this kind of education. Even I strongly believe that the combinations that were given by B.V. Raman for technical education, they also have completely changed, because B.V. Raman sir already passed away some 30 years ago. But I believe this. Even today, we have eminent astrologers like K.N. Rao Garu, V.P. Goyal. They have done a lot of research on this, and they have given some combinations based on which what kind of education a child may pursue in future. Okay, I will give you some basic combinations, and I will try to add to this subject when, as and when I find time. Okay, but in today's session, let us limit ourselves only to the basics of this. How to identify whether a child will have a proper education or not, higher education or not. Here, education means university degree. University degree. Say 5th class, 10th class, intermediate, +1, +2, CBSE, NCERT, then university, then post graduation, then doctorate, then postdoctorate fellowship, or whatever. Education in the sense strictly current days education, that not one, not something which is other than education. Okay, this is what I want to speak in today's session. Let us limit ourselves to the basics of the planetary combinations. Basically, once upon a time, people used to say we have to study second house, fourth house, fifth house, ninth house, because the second house represents the family in which we are born into, and our mother is our first education giver. But current days times have completely changed. Students are being educated in preschools. That is today's trend. So if we read our astrological classics and go by the second house combinations, definitely we will go wrong. They should say, even one of my earlier videos I said we have to study fourth house and ninth house, because fourth house represents mother and ninth house represents father. Even that combination we cannot apply in whole. It has its own drawbacks. Okay, so what basically we have to see, houses may remain the same, but we have to adopt those combinations to the present day scenario. Once upon a time, we used to say second house is the family in which we are born into. But present day scenario, that second house stands for preschools. Okay. So basically, in order to get a good education for a child, this second, fourth, fifth, and ninth houses and their lords must be properly placed. And they should not be inimically placed, or should not be aspected by evil planets. So these many combinations we cannot definitely work out in one natal chart. One planet, one house must have been definitely spoiled. Out of these 2, 4, 5, 9 houses or their lords, 1 or 2 houses must have been definitely spoiled. because of evil aspects or evil conjunctions or evil placements of the lords or E6, 8, 12 lords are placed in those houses. So all combinations we cannot work out. That means all positive combinations we cannot work out, but we have to make sure that most of the combinations are. How many combinations? We have to go by just permutations and combinations and then give a judgment, a temporary judgment. But we cannot definitely today say what the child may study after 10 years today. We cannot, that is sitting here, I cannot definitely say that what this child may pursue aeronautical engineering after 10 years. Because the meaning of aeronautical engineering will change completely after 10 years. I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, I read one news from New York to Washington. It takes only a couple of hours in the times to come. So the meanings, people instead of aeroplanes, we use rockets. The meanings are going to change completely. So we cannot 100% say what is going to happen after 10 years from now. Okay, but these are the basic houses. We have to study their houses, the placement of their lots, aspects on these houses, so that we can come to one primary conclusion. And we have to study, mostly focus on Jupiter and Mercury, their positions, their placements. Jupiter and Mercury play a vital role when this education is concerned. Because the Karaka for second house is Jupiter. Fifth house is also Jupiter. Ninth house is also Jupiter. Okay, so Jupiter plays a vital role when our education is concerned. Second house is for speech, fourth house is for private education, and ninth house is for higher education. If you say consider, so Jupiter plays a vital role. Any evil aspects on Jupiter may drastically affect one of the qualities of these houses. That is what I want to say. Next, we have to something which is very important is the dasa scheme. Native student appropriate dasa at the age of 15. From 15 to 30 is the major education period, right? Anybody will undergo higher education between the age of 15 to 30. So if appropriate dasa and correct dasa operates at that period, the native will perform well in his academics. And what are the combinations? We will see in our next session. Thank you for watching the video. Goodbye and God bless you all.